A few minutes before the application portal closed, Nora Blake called me and told me she had changed my applications to an unaccredited college. In the background, I could hear the noise of a graduation party at some bar. My childhood friend, Ethan Cole, was there with her. After hearing everything, he didn't think anything was wrong. Nora didn't know what she was doing. "She made a mistake, okay? She was only trying to help you," he said casually. "Worst case, you take a gap year and apply again." Then he hung up. No discussion. No hesitation. As the portal had less than a minute before closing, I tried to call Ethan several times. He finally answered, already sounding annoyed. "Nora grew up poor. Her scores sucked. She just wanted you to stay with her, that's all. Why can't you let this go?" Laughter exploded from the other side of the phone. "Seriously, let the rich girl experience real life for once. Your family's loaded anyway. You can study abroad or reapply next year." Right on time, the system shut down, and that insane application submission became permanent. Please subscribe for more exciting videos like this.
I slowly lowered my phone.
So this whole time, he thought the applications that got tampered with were mine. Guess he forgot what Nora had said earlier. The account she used was stolen from my backpack. But I never kept my own student login info in there. The only thing inside was the information slip Ethan once asked me to help him register. His information. I suddenly wondered whether he'd still be this understanding once he saw his own acceptance results. Half an hour later, Nora posted a 3-page apology essay in the class group chat. "Mia, I'm so sorry. I swear I didn't mean to do it. Maybe I'm just stupid." She said it was her first time using the college application portal, and she got so nervous, she clicked the wrong school. One slip of the hand, and my top-choice Ivy League school turned into some low-tier trade school called Lakeside Community College. At the end, she attached a selfie with red, teary eyes. "My family's poor. I'd never even touched a computer before. I just wanted to help Mia check if the website was glitching. If Mia holds a grudge against me because of this, I will fully accept all her blame. People like me were never meant to touch expensive things from your rich city lives anyway." The group chat exploded instantly. "Nora, don't cry. It was just an accident. Mia, don't be so cruel. Do you seriously have to push her like this?" Before I could type a single word, Ethan's profile popped up. "Mia, stop ghosting the chat. What's done is done. Nora already apologized. What else do you want?" Nora immediately replied, "Ethan, don't be mad at her. This was my fault." That completely set him off. "You're too nice. That's why spoiled rich girls like her walk all over you.
Mia.
Your family is rich. Losing a year means nothing to you, but Nora's different. Her family can barely afford new shoes for her little brother just to keep her in school. She can't handle this kind of stress." I stared at the screen so hard my eyes burned. My nails dug deep into my palm, but I couldn't feel the pain. This was the boy who'd grown up with me. The same Ethan who carried me 2 blocks after I broke my arm as a kid, crying the whole way and swearing he'd fight anyone who hurt me.
And now?
For a transfer student he'd known less than 6 months, he destroyed years of my hard work like it was nothing. Someone tagged me in the chat. "Come on, rich girl. Say something." Nora sent another voice message, her voice soft and trembling. "Guys, stop blaming Mia. It makes sense if she hates me. Ethan's been tutoring me in math lately. Maybe she misunderstood something." The chat went dead for 2 seconds. Then the gossip emojis flooded in.
"Oh.
So she's jealous. No wonder she won't let the application thing go." I opened my private chat with Ethan. "Ethan, are you seriously telling me to let this go?" He replied instantly. "What else are you gonna do? Call the cops on her? Mia, when did you become this vicious?" I clenched my teeth and typed my final sentence. "If the applications that got tampered with today were yours instead of mine, would you still be this understanding?" The chat box went silent for over 10 seconds before Ethan suddenly dropped a voice message straight into the class group. His tone dripped with arrogance. "I'll say this right now. If I were the one whose applications were tampered with today, I would never say a single harsh word to Nora. She's already had it hard enough. Unlike you, not everyone only thinks about themselves. Mia, maybe it's time you learned how to be a decent person. The group chat instantly exploded. Ethan's seriously mature for his age. That's Ivy League mentality right there. I let out a cold laugh, then I quit the group chat without another word. The next afternoon, I walked downstairs and froze. Ethan and his mother, Vera Cole, were sitting in my living room. My mom sat across from them with a dark expression, while several blurry photos were spread across the coffee table. The moment Vera saw me, she sighed dramatically. Mia, sweetheart, how could you be this foolish? I know you grew up spoiled and can't handle academic pressure, but ruining your own future like this? What were you thinking? I walked over and shot Ethan a cold glance. Mrs. Cole, what exactly are you doing in my house this early? My mom slammed the table. You still have the nerve to ask? She pointed at the photos. Look at what you did. Ethan told us everything. You altered your own application choices for a wayward outsider. And now you're trying to dump the blame on a poor girl? Have you no shame? I frowned and picked up the photos. A blonde-haired guy stood with his back to the camera. Beside him was a girl whose build vaguely resembled mine. They looked close, almost like they were holding hands.
But it wasn't me.
I turned toward Ethan, who calmly held his cup, pretending to look disappointed. Mrs. Hayes, please don't blame Mia too much. She got manipulated by that blonde young man and impulsively changed her own applications. She was desperate to cover it up, so she forced Nora to admit she stole the account. Nora's timid. Mia scared her so badly she cried and confessed to something she didn't even do. I couldn't sit there and watch anymore, so I told you the truth. Vera nodded along immediately.
Exactly.
Ethan has always been honest. He never lies. I've met Nora before. She's quiet and well-behaved. There's no way she'd steal from Mia. Mia's been spoiled rotten. Now she's learned how to lie and shift blame too. Listening to the mother and son put on their little performance made my stomach churn. To protect Nora, Ethan had actually fabricated a story this disgusting. I picked up the photos and laughed coldly. Ethan, where did you get these unclear, vague photos? You brought this crap to my house just to slander me? You can't even see the girl's face. What makes you so sure it's me? Ethan calmly set down his cup and met my gaze head-on. Mia, are you still denying it? My friend personally took those pictures. That girl was wearing the exact same jacket you own. Or, are you gonna deny you've been hanging around that guy's place lately too? I was so angry I almost laughed. I was over there because I volunteered at the stray dog shelter nearby. You're accusing me of secretly dating some delinquent and framing Nora for tampering with the applications. Ethan, have you completely lost your sense of right and wrong? Vera shot to her feet and pointed at me furiously. How dare you talk to him like that? Ethan came here out of kindness to warn your parents, and this is how you repay him. You kept company with unsuitable people, ruined your own future, and now you think you're the victim? My mom had completely bought Ethan's story. She trembled with rage.
Mia.
Apologize to Ethan and Mrs. Cole right now. How did I end up raising such a shameless daughter? From today on, all your allowance is cut off. Stay home, reflect on yourself, and prepare to reapply next year. I stared at my mother's furious face and felt something inside me go cold. This was my own mother. She would rather believe an outsider's lies than listen to a single word from me. I took a deep breath and forced myself to stay calm. Mom, I'm not lying. And I'm not involved with any delinquent. Nora Blake was the one who tampered with the applications. If you don't believe me, call the police right now. They can trace the login IP address from the system. The moment Ethan heard the word police, panic flashed across his eyes. Then he forced himself to look calm again. Go ahead. Call them. Check the IP address. Let's see where it leads. You skipped our graduation party yesterday, didn't you? Maybe because you were busy changing the applications yourself. Don't think calling the cops scares me. If they show up, they'll arrest you for filing a false report. Vera quickly grabbed my mother's hand and spoke in a gentle, persuasive tone. Mrs. Hayes, please don't call the police. If this gets out of hand, Mia's reputation will be ruined forever. What decent family would ever want a girl who runs around with troublesome people and files fake police reports against her classmates? My mother immediately panicked. Just like that, the idea of calling the police disappeared from her mind. My mother turned toward me with a vicious glare. This ends here. Maybe you're not ashamed of yourself, yet I feel utterly embarrassed for you. Get back to your room right now. Don't step 1 foot outside without my permission. I tossed the photos back onto the coffee table, walked upstairs, and slammed the bedroom door shut. For the next few days, I was basically under house arrest. My phone was confiscated. The Wi-Fi was cut off. I was completely isolated from the outside world. Only when the school announced we had to return to collect our graduation documents and student files did my mother finally let me leave the house. The second I stepped into the classroom, the noisy chatter stopped cold. Every eye turned toward me. Disgust.
Mockery.
Pure contempt. Well, look who's here. Mia Hayes. I heard she changed her applications to Lakeside Community College for that ordinary blonde lad. How touching. Ivy League? With her grades, she'd be lucky to get into a decent state school. Nora's already miserable enough, and Mia still tried to frame her. She's seriously evil. The voices buzzed nonstop around me. I kept a blank expression and walked to my seat, then I froze. My books had been dumped all over the floor. Across my desk, someone had written liar and cruel person in thick red marker. Nora sat beside Ethan, holding a conspicuous certificate while whispering something to him softly. The second she saw me, she acted startled and quickly hid the certificate behind her back. Ethan gently patted her hand before standing up and walking toward me. So, you actually showed up. He looked down at me with open contempt. I warned you already. Stay away from Nora. I wrote those words on your desk myself. What, got a problem with it? I bent down, picked up my books, and brushed the shoe prints off the covers. Ethan Cole, what else can you do besides these childish tricks? You think scribbling on my desk changes the fact Nora's a thief? His face darkened instantly, and he slammed his palm against my desk. You still dare call her a thief? Mia, are you seriously this stubborn? Right then, our homeroom teacher, Mr. Foster, walked into the classroom carrying a stack of papers. Seeing the confrontation, he frowned and smacked the blackboard sharply. What's going on here? Sit down. He cleared his throat and gave me a complicated look. Besides handing out graduation files today, there's another announcement. After a reevaluation, the school has decided to revoke Mia Hayes' eligibility for this year's top academic honor. The recognition will now be awarded to Nora Blake, a student praised for her excellence and resilience in overcoming difficult personal circumstances. The classroom instantly erupted into applause. I jerked my head up in disbelief. Why, Mr. Foster? My grades have always ranked top 5 in the entire year. I scored full marks in every conduct evaluation, too. Nora can't even break top 50. Why does she get the award? Mr. Foster's face hardened immediately. You have the nerve to ask why? Mia, you know exactly what you've done. Ethan already reported everything to the school. You were involved in an inappropriate relationship, associated with questionable people, maliciously altered your own college applications, and even tried to frame a classmate. The school didn't expel you out of respect for your parents. And you still have the nerve to ask why. My blood rushed straight to my head. Ethan had actually gone to the school to report me. Just to push Nora into the spotlight, he made up all these accusations and erased years of my hard work like it meant nothing. Nora walked over holding the certificate that should have belonged to me. Her eyes were red, like she was about to cry again. Mia, I'm sorry. I never wanted to take your award. This was the school's decision. If you really want it that badly, I can give it back. She pushed the certificate toward me. That fake innocent act made me so sick I almost threw up. I slapped her hand away. Get away from me. Don't touch me with your filthy hands. The certificate fell to the floor with a heavy thud. Nora immediately stumbled backward and crashed onto the floor with a scream.
Ah!
My ankle! Ethan exploded. He rushed over, scooped Nora into his arms, and glared at me furiously.
Mia!
Have you lost your mind? Nora tried to return the certificate out of kindness, and you shoved her? The next second, he shoved me hard in the shoulder. I staggered backward and slammed into the sharp corner of a desk. Pain shot through my lower back, so hard cold sweat instantly broke across my skin. Mr. Foster snapped too. He pointed at the door and roared, "Mia Hayes, this is ridiculous. Get out right now. Call your parents here immediately." I steadied myself against the desk and looked coldly at the teacher and classmates around me. Not one of them cared about the truth. Don't bother calling them. I grabbed my file folder and walked toward the door without looking back. Behind me, Ethan shouted furiously, "Mia, if you dare hurt Nora again, I swear you won't even find a school willing to take you in." A few days later, Ethan was invited to speak at graduation as valedictorian. "Everyone, if there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: stay clear-headed." His voice echoed through the auditorium over the microphone. "Don't get distracted by cheap thrills. Don't throw away your future for people who aren't worth it. And definitely don't end up like certain classmates who impulsively dump themselves into some unaccredited colleges." People in the audience started turning to look at me. Lila Vance deliberately raised her voice. "Wonder who he means." Pretty obvious, though. Ethan continued calmly. "Mia Hayes and I were both considered Ivy League material by our teachers. But the real difference between people isn't grades. It's choices." A parent in the front row whispered, "Who's Mia Hayes?" Someone nearby answered immediately, "She's the girl who changed her applications for some delinquent guy." Nora sat in the first row. She turned to look at me with red eyes, but the smile at the corners of her mouth was impossible to hide. Halfway through the speech, Ethan suddenly gestured toward her. "There's also someone I especially want to thank today. Nora Blake." Nora stood up in fake surprise. She came from nothing, but she's worked hard this whole time. Unlike some people who use their wealthy background as an excuse to avoid responsibility, she deserves real respect. The auditorium burst into applause. Nora covered her mouth, tears appearing instantly. "Ethan, I'm really not as good as you make me sound." "Yes, you are." The girls sitting beside me whispered excitedly. "They look so good together." Mia seriously embarrassed herself this time. Even the school administrators on stage nodded approvingly. Ethan grew more and more smug as he spoke, practically targeting me in public now. "A lot of people ask me for study tips. Honestly, it's simple. Stay away from people who drain you. If someone makes you lose sight of your goals and throw away your future for feelings, cut them off immediately." Finally, the speech reached its last segment. Ethan lifted the microphone with a mysterious smile. "As it happens, my acceptance letter arrived today. I specifically had it delivered here because I wanted to share this moment with everyone. I didn't even check the results online beforehand. I wanted to open my acceptance letter in front of the entire school, to give my high school years the perfect ending and hopefully inspire the students coming after us." Nora immediately stood up. "Mr. Foster, I can bring it to him." Mr. Foster handed her the package. Nora carried it onto the stage carefully, and when Ethan took it from her, he smiled into the microphone. "Thanks, Nora." The boys in the audience instantly started shouting, "Oh, future girlfriend delivering the acceptance letter?" Nora lowered her head shyly. "Stop saying stuff like that." Ethan didn't deny it. Instead, he looked straight at me, eyes filled with satisfaction and revenge. "Before I open this, I want to say one last thing. Everyone has to take responsibility for their choices. If someone chooses to ruin their own life, they shouldn't complain when the world stops treating them with respect." The school staff adjusted the camera and projected the letter onto the giant screen. Ethan slowly tore open the envelope on purpose, dragging out every movement dramatically. Nora stood beside him, eyes sparkling with excitement. Halfway through opening it, Ethan suddenly paused and looked at me again. "Mia, I'll give you one last chance. Apologize to Nora in front of everyone right now, and I'll stop holding you accountable for falsely accusing her of tampering with your applications." "What if I don't?" "Then remember this moment. Remember how you watched me walk into an Ivy League school while you ended up at a community college." I said nothing. Ethan finally reached into the envelope and pulled out the paper inside, raising it high above his head. Everyone, take a good look. This is what choosing the right life looks like. He lifted his chin proudly, completely unaware that the people who could actually see the paper were starting to look confused. What is that? A parent in the front row spoke first. Ethan's hand froze in midair. On the giant screen, the document was magnified for the entire auditorium to see. It wasn't an Ivy League school acceptance letter, but a cheaply printed admission notice. Right across the top, in huge letters, was the name Lakeside Community College. And in the name field, Ethan Cole. The entire auditorium went dead silent. Then someone laughed. The laughter spread row by row across the room. Wait, wasn't he talking about Ivy League? Didn't he just mock someone for ending up at an unaccredited college? Honestly, Lakeside fits him. Major in running his mouth. The color drained from Ethan's face little by little. He stared at the paper in his hand like he couldn't recognize the words. No, this is wrong. This can't be real. He violently tore open the envelope and dumped everything out. Student registration forms, orientation instructions, tuition payment slips. Every single document had his name printed on it. Ethan's breathing turned ragged. Then he suddenly looked up at me. It was you. He rushed to the edge of the stage and shouted into the microphone. You switched it. Mia Hayes, you were jealous of me, so you brought a fake acceptance letter to ruin me. I stood up calmly and took the backup microphone from a staff member nearby. Ethan, did you forget what Nora Blake said? My voice wasn't loud, but through the speakers, every word echoed through the auditorium. She said she took the account information slip from my backpack and changed my applications for me. Ethan's expression twisted. So what? That was your account. But I never kept my own student login info in my backpack. I looked directly at him. The only thing inside that day was the slip you gave me when you asked me to help register your graduation contact information. Your student ID number. The last 6 digits of your social security number. Your login password. The crowd instantly erupted. Ethan's face went blank. Beside him, Nora froze too. No, that's impossible. I clearly dash. She cut herself off halfway through the sentence and clamped a hand over her mouth. I looked at her. You clearly thought it was mine, right? Nora stumbled backward. No, I didn't know. I really didn't know. Ethan grabbed her shoulders hard. Explain it clearly. Whose account did you actually log into? Tears streamed down Nora's face immediately. Ethan, I was nervous. The paper didn't have a name on it. I just thought if it was inside Mia's backpack, it had to belong to her. Ethan's fingers started shaking. No way. The system must have messed up. He pulled out his phone and opened the official college admissions portal. The projector was still connected to the auditorium screen, and the staff hadn't cut the feed yet, so his login page appeared enlarged across the giant display. Ethan entered the username and password. Login successful. The account activity log appeared on the screen. His early decision application to Westbrook University had been withdrawn. The only confirmed enrollment left was Lakeside Community College. The change had been made in the final minute before the application portal locked. Login IP, a coffee shop near Nora's neighborhood. The auditorium fell silent again. This time, nobody laughed. Every trace of color disappeared from Ethan's face. His lips trembled uncontrollably. This is wrong. No, this can't happen. I was supposed to get into Westbrook. His voice cracked sharply from panic. Then it hit him. He jerked his head toward me. Mia, you knew this the whole time? I asked you before. I met his gaze calmly. If the applications that got tampered with belonged to you, would you still be this understanding? His lips moved, but no words came out. I unlocked my phone and played the voice message from that night. Ethan's smug voice echoed throughout the auditorium. If I were the one whose applications were tampered with today, I would never say a single harsh word to Nora. She's already had it hard enough. Unlike you, not everyone only thinks about themselves. Someone in the audience gasped. I looked straight at Ethan. Now it's your turn. Ethan Cole, congratulations on getting exactly what you wanted. Ethan, it's okay. Didn't you say you could always take a gap year and reapply? Nora still hadn't realized how fatal those words were. She clung to Ethan's hand, crying so hard her makeup smeared. You said I just made a mistake. Why couldn't you be understanding? Didn't you say if it happened to you, you wouldn't blame me? Ethan suddenly shoved her away. Nora stumbled, nearly falling, but still tried to move closer to him. Ethan, we can still go to Lakeside together. I'll stay with you. Ethan raised his hand. Slap. The sound exploded through the microphone. Nora covered her face in disbelief. You hit me? Ethan's eyes were bloodshot. You ruined me. Nora Blake, you ruined my entire future. Nora cried even harder. I didn't know it was your account. If I knew, why would I have changed yours? I just wanted to teach Mia Hayes a lesson. Why does she get everything? Why have you always revolved around her since childhood? Pain twisted across Ethan's face. So you did it on purpose? Nora shook her head frantically. Not on purpose to ruin you. I did it on purpose to ruin her. The auditorium completely exploded. Mr. Foster rushed onto the stage, shaking with fury. Nora, do you even understand how serious tampering with applications is? It's illegal, and you're still sitting here crying? Nora immediately dropped to her knees and grabbed at his pant leg. Mr. Foster, my family's really poor. I can't go to jail. What about my little brother? I'm not a bad person. I was just scared to go to that kind of school alone. Mr. Foster violently shook her off. So, because you were scared, you thought you could destroy someone else's life? Then he turned toward Ethan. The disappointment in his eyes was so heavy it looked like he could barely stay standing. And you? What did you say in the group chat yesterday? You told Mia to be understanding, told her to take a gap year, told her not to make a big deal out of it. Ethan lowered his head without saying a word. Mr. Foster suddenly slapped him hard across the face. I taught you for 3 years, and this is what you turned into. You joined forces to slander her, saying she threw away her future for some delinquent. Now the truth's right in front of everyone. How do you still have the nerve to stand on this stage? Ethan's head tilted from the force of the slap. Slowly, he looked at me. Mia, I was wrong. Please help me. Hearing those words didn't feel satisfying. It just felt ridiculous. How exactly am I supposed to help you? Ethan hurried after me. Your family has connections. Please ask your parents to contact Westbrook's admissions office and explain that someone tampered with my application. This wasn't my fault. His voice turned desperate. I'm supposed to go to Westbrook. I was always supposed to go there. I looked at him calmly. If the applications that got tampered with had really been mine, would you have helped me contact admissions? Would you have believed me? Would you have made Nora take responsibility? His lips turned pale. That's different.
How?
His voice dropped so low, it was almost inaudible. I'm a guy. I can't afford to have my future ruined. That sentence made everything clearer than all his previous favoritism combined. Someone in the audience cursed loudly. What a piece of trash. Nora suddenly screamed. What right do you have to blame me? She pointed at Ethan hysterically. Last night, who was the one saying Mia's rich and could just study abroad? Who said going to Lakeside would just be a novel life experience for her? You didn't care because you thought the ruined future belonged to her instead of you. Ethan spun around furiously. Shut up. Nora completely snapped.
No.
I won't. If you really cared about justice, why didn't you call the police last night? You protected me because you felt sorry for me. Ethan lunged at her like he wanted to hit her again, but security guards rushed forward and stopped him. His voice cracked apart in front of the entire auditorium. I felt sorry for you. You manipulated me. You kept crying about being poor and miserable. You kept saying Mia looked down on you. You used me like a weapon and hacked my future to pieces. Nora shouted back through tears. And you let me. If you trusted Mia even once, would any of this have worked? Ethan froze completely. The entire auditorium had descended into chaos. I walked to the front of the stage, bent down, and picked up the Lakeside Community College acceptance letter. Then I handed it back to him. Ethan, I remember every word you said last night very clearly. He looked up at me with dark eyes. I placed the letter into his trembling hands. Enjoy your little romance with Nora at Lakeside. His fingers shook violently. The acceptance letter slipped from his hand and fell to the floor. Then Ethan dropped to his knees. He raised his hand and slapped himself hard across the face. Mia, I am truly sorry. What's the point of saying sorry? Ethan's father, Marcus Cole, arrived, his first words draining the last bit of color from Ethan's face. Marcus stormed onto the stage, grabbed Ethan by the collar, and slapped him again. I spent years and money raising you, not so you could lose your damn mind over some poor girl. Ethan went stiff. Dad, please help me. There's still a way to fix this. Marcus was so furious his hands shook. Fix it. The official system is locked. The entire school already saw the admissions record live on screen. How exactly do you plan to fix that? He sneered coldly. Weren't you acting all understanding earlier? Didn't you say you were happy to give the opportunity away? Ethan lowered his head completely. The second Nora saw Marcus, she crawled toward him on her knees. Sir, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean it. My family's poor. Please don't call the police. I'll do anything for Ethan in the future. Marcus kicked her away, without hesitation. You destroyed my son's future. Not a meal. Not a shirt. His future. By then, school security had already called the police. The officers entered the auditorium, and Nora panicked so badly her voice almost disappeared. Don't arrest me. I'm only 18. I can't have a criminal record. One of the officers asked calmly. Who reported this? A school administrator stepped forward. Our student Nora Blake illegally accessed another student's college application portal and tampered with the applications. Nora immediately pointed at me while crying. She set me up. She knew that paper wasn't hers and deliberately left it in her backpack for me to take. The officer looked directly at her. So, your statement confirms that you did take the paper and log into the account. Nora's expression froze. I didn't steal it. I just borrowed it. Taking someone's account credentials without permission and using them to alter applications is not borrowing. Suddenly, Ethan lifted his head. Officer, she did it. She admitted herself that she intentionally wanted to ruin Mia. Nora completely lost control. She pointed at Ethan and started laughing hysterically through tears. Ethan Cole, look at you trying to wash your hands clean now. Why do you think I did it in the first place? Because you gave me hope. You said Mia was arrogant. You said she didn't understand real struggle. You complained that she kept clinging to you as a childhood friend. Ethan's face darkened. I never told you to tamper with the applications. You didn't have to say it outright. Nora's smile twisted bitterly. Every time you defended me and attacked her, I thought if Mia ever fell from that pedestal, you'd finally notice me. I was jealous of her. She was born with everything, while I had to act pitiful just to get people to look at me twice. I wanted to drag her down. She stared straight at Ethan. I just didn't expect the one who fell would be you. Ethan stood frozen. Nora lowered her voice and laughed harshly. Maybe this is better. A golden boy like you needed to fall into the mud at least once to understand what my life feels like. Ethan, you don't have to pity me anymore. Because now you're ruined too. Ethan swayed where he stood. Marcus raised his hand again like he wanted to hit him, but eventually closed his eyes instead. From today on, your allowance is gone. Your cards are canceled. Your car's gone too. If you want to study abroad or beg for connections, figure it out yourself. Ethan's voice trembled. Dad, I'm your son. Marcus laughed coldly. When you told someone else's daughter to be understanding, did you ever stop to think she was someone's child too? Ethan couldn't say another word. The police officers placed handcuffs on Nora. Lila suddenly rushed forward. Officer, Nora just made one stupid mistake. Her family really is struggling. That is not a license to commit crimes. Before Nora was taken away, she turned back to look at me. There wasn't a trace of regret in her eyes. Mia, so what if you won? Ethan's already ruined now. Don't think you can still have him. I looked at her calmly. I never said I wanted him back. Ethan's head snapped toward me. Right then, a sudden commotion erupted at the auditorium entrance. Principal Dr. Marsh hurried in, barely able to hide his excitement. Mia Hayes, he called out loudly. Your admission result from Westbrook University just came through. The entire auditorium fell silent for 1 second, then the room exploded into shocked screams. Still kneeling on the floor, Ethan stared at me without blinking. So, in the end, the only person whose future was actually destroyed was me. Mia, wait. I still need to talk to you. I had just walked out of the auditorium with my acceptance letter when Ethan chased after me. There was still a slap mark on his face. His uniform shirt was wrinkled from Marcus grabbing him earlier. For the first time in years, Ethan looked genuinely pathetic. I stopped walking. Go ahead. He swallowed hard. I was overwhelmed earlier. It's not that I didn't believe you, you just wanted to believe Nora Blake more. His face turned pale instantly.
No.
She was just too good at acting pitiful. She kept talking about how she was the only hope for her hometown, how she couldn't even afford food, how you'd had everything since birth. So, I thought you giving up a little wouldn't hurt. I looked at him quietly. So, I deserved it? That's not what I meant. He sounded panicked. It's just, I got used to it. You were always calmer than me,
Smarter than me.
stronger than me. You never looked like someone who needed protecting. But Nora was different. Every time she cried, I felt like she'd shatter if nobody helped her.
I stared at him.
That excuse sounded unbelievably cheap. Ethan, I get hurt too. His eyes reddened immediately. I know. Mia, I really know now. Please help me this one time.
I almost laughed.
Help you with what? He stepped closer anxiously. Go talk to Westbrook's admissions office for me. Tell them I was a victim too. If they're willing to reconsider my application or defer my admission for a year. I cut him off coldly. Ethan, even now, the only person you care about is yourself. I just want another chance. I looked straight into his eyes. When my life was almost destroyed by the two of you, you told me to be understanding. I can apologize. I'll explain everything in the group chat. I'll tell everyone I was wrong. When Nora spread rumors that I changed my applications for some delinquent, why didn't you verify anything first? His lips trembled, because I was jealous. The second I heard her say you like someone else, I lost it. I thought you really didn't want me anymore. I let out a cold laugh. And what exactly gave you the right to be angry? He suddenly fell silent. There had always been something unspoken between Ethan and me. Both our families treated it like a given, and even our classmates acted like it was obvious. But neither of us had ever said it out loud. Then Nora transferred in. She'd stand beside Ethan's desk holding a notebook full of wrong answers, calling his name in that soft little voice. Whenever I won academic competitions, she'd sigh and say things like, Mia's amazing. Unlike me, all I can do is work hard. Whenever Ethan brought me breakfast, she'd whisper, rich people really do eat differently. I used to survive on plain bread. And every single time, Ethan would frown at me. Mia, stop making her uncomfortable. I used to explain myself, but he always said I was overthinking. The truth was, I hadn't been overthinking anything. He just liked being needed. Ethan lowered his voice. Mia, we grew up together. You can't seriously watch me end up at a place like that. I raised an eyebrow. What's wrong with that kind of school? He choked on his own words. I smiled faintly. Didn't you say going there would be a good life experience for me? Now you get to experience it yourself. Sounds fair. His expression darkened. Do you really have to be this harsh? You should have asked yourself that question last night. At that moment, Marcus walked over from behind us. His tone was icy. Mia, you don't owe him anything. What happened today was Ethan's fault. I'll make sure he publicly apologizes, and I'll cooperate fully with the investigation into Nora Blake. Ethan panicked instantly. Dad, you can't just abandon me. Marcus finally looked at him directly. I spent 18 years protecting you. And somehow I still raised someone who can't tell right from wrong. From now on, deal with the consequences yourself. Ethan stood there blankly. I turned to leave, but he suddenly grabbed my wrist. Mia, don't be this cruel. I shook him off immediately. Ethan, the moment you hung up on me that night, We were already over. But I regret it now.
I looked at him one last time.
Your regret came too late, and it's still all about you. Miss Hayes, would you be willing to give a speech as a representative freshman at the opening ceremony? On the day I arrived at Westbrook University, Dr. Palmer, the academic advisor, called me into her office.
I will. She studied me for a moment.
We've heard about what happened in your college admissions process. To still maintain your composure after something like that, it's not easy. I met her eyes calmly. Compared to people who were actually destroyed, I was lucky. Luck is part of it, she said softly. But clarity matters more. Everything moved fast after the semester began. In the class group chat, Ethan's apology stayed pinned for 3 full days. It was long. He admitted that because of his bias and arrogance, he allowed Nora to harm me, and that he spread unverified claims without checking the truth first. He apologized to me and to everyone who had been misled. This time, no one defended him. Lila privately messaged me. Mia, I'm sorry. I used to follow Nora and talk bad about you. I was misled too. I blocked her immediately. Being misled didn't erase the fact that she had chosen to swing the knife. Later, I heard from Leo Hart that Nora had been released on bail. The school revoked her honors and recommendations. Her family came to protest, her mother crying that her daughter just wanted companionship. So how did it become a crime? Marcus sent a lawyer and said only one sentence. If she wanted companionship, she can find it among her co-conspirators. Ethan never even got to reapply for admission. Even though he wasn't the main culprit, his name was dragged through the public backlash. Marcus cut off all support. Ethan had no money for studying abroad, and he refused to take a gap year. In the end, he had no choice but to enroll at Lakeside Community College. The first time I saw news of him was on a short video platform. Once an Ivy League university prospect, now at Lakeside Community College, mocked by roommates for pretending to be a top student. In the video, Ethan sat on the edge of a dorm bed, face dark. Bro, I heard you were supposed to go to an Ivy League?
Someone laughed.
Did they reject you so you came here to help the poor? Ethan forced out a cold voice. Don't film me. I don't belong here. You don't belong here? Then why are you here? Everything has your name on it. He reached up to block the camera and got shoved back. Stop acting superior. We're all studying at the same place. Who do you think you are? The video cut off abruptly. The comment section was full of mockery. Isn't this the guy who told someone else to treat Lakeside like a life experience? His own experience mode got activated. I swiped it away. My roommate leaned over. You know him. Used to. She didn't ask further. At the opening ceremony, I stood on stage and spoke. I used to think the meaning of effort was achieving an outcome. Later, I realized effort also gives you the strength to wait for the truth when you're misunderstood. Never hand your life over to someone who thinks they're doing it for your own good. And never surrender your boundaries out of so-called sympathy. Applause filled the hall. On the screen, I saw my face, calm, clear, unshaken. After the ceremony, a message arrived. Mia, I saw your speech. You're standing somewhere I can't reach anymore. I'm doing really badly here. They laugh at me, isolate me, even throw my things into the water. Now I finally understand what it feels like to be bullied. I turned off the screen. My roommate asked, "Spam?" Pretty much. Soon, another message popped up. Can you come see me? Just once. I blocked the number. There was no satisfaction in it, just the feeling of finally shutting a door that had been letting in cold air for too long. That night, Leo sent me a screenshot. Ethan had posted a photo under a streetlight. The caption was only one line. If only I had answered that call back then. I looked at it for a few seconds and deleted the screenshot. Leo asked, "Don't you feel soft about it?"
No.
He sent a sighing emoji. He is really suffering this time. I looked out at the bright lights of the campus and slowly typed my final messages. He's suffering because the knife finally cut back into the hand that held it. And me. I'm going to see a world he'll never reach.
The end.
Thank you for listening to Moonlit Love Novella. Please like, subscribe, and share.